Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. In this video I will show you my new settings for Vim and VSCode together, just the basics, so you can go from there if you want to follow along or just have some ideas. By default, when nothing else is open, VSCode will show some things on the screen that we don't really need. To get rid of them, Ctrl-Shift-P, we go into Open User Settings and search for Tips, Enabled. This one. Be sure to uncheck this. Some written support can be helpful, so let's resize this, bring this in, and we're set. Let's Ctrl-Shift-X to bring up the extension. The first one is Vim, the VSCode Vim version, this one, because there are several. The second one is Nord from Arctic Ice Studio. This we just install and activate. And the third one for the transparency, it's Glass It -VSC, this one. The default value come from here, extension settings. Set anything between 1 and 255. I got mine on 200. And some shortcuts to increase or decrease the opacity by a step of 5. But we'll see this later in the video. To set custom keyboard shortcuts, we Ctrl-Shift-P and go into Preferences, Open Keyboard Shortcuts. There we can search for Glass It, by example, and set our shortcuts as we want. I got mine for decrease transparency, increase transparency, and this one on Alt and minus or plus on the numeric keypad. To show or hide parts of the UI, in this menu you can search for View, Toggle, and see what's proposed. We got things for activity bar, the full screen, the menu bar, and many other things. You can do whatever you want, but I got mine, some of mine, on Alt and A for the action bar, Alt and M for the menu bar on the upper side, Alt and B for the sidebar, Alt and V tabs visibility. It's more obvious when there are several ones. And Alt T for the terminal. The Ctrl-Shift-X, it's a default one, but it's useful for bringing up the extension, and we can hide it back with Alt B. Once again, you can do however you want, but I found useful the Alt one and some mnemonics for the letter. One of the basic needs we have is opening a folder with the project in it. So if we go Open, we have several proposition, and the one I chose is File Open Folder, and set this on Alt F, like folder. So when we Alt F, it will open the menu and open something. Now let's open some files. Bring up the sidebar, not this one, and open like the package.json and the zoconfig, and hide it back. From here we could Alt B and click around to see what we got, but it's not really Vim like, so we hide again the B, and I got mine on Alt and N like NerdTree, and it's mapped on Focus on Files Explorer. So Alt N, this time we can just move around with the keyboard and open what we need. To open a file, we can also search for it. So Ctrl-Shift-P, one backspace, and we're searching for something like the layout, and we have here the base layout, and we can edit the base layout. To create splits, either vertical or horizontal, I got two shortcuts mapped on View Split Editor and View Split Editor down. So the first one, Alt S, will create a file on the side, an editor on the side, and we can open something in it, or Alt H, it does the same on the bottom. To jump from one open file to another, we can Control and Tab, and it will go from one file to another. To switch from one split to another, the commands are in action.focus first editor group, focus second editor group, or third editor group. I got mine on Control plus the numbers above the letters on the main part of the keyboard. So we can create a split with Alt H, and then Control 1 or 2 will move the cursor in the first or second group. It works the same if the splits are vertical. To close a file or a split, I got Alt Q like quit mapped on Close Editor. We can Alt Q and it will close the file or the split. And at the end of the day, when we're done, Alt F4 will close VSCode itself, the window. Finally, at the bottom of my VSCode, I got something like a Vim Airline changing colors according to Vim modes. So now we are in normal mode. If we go into insert mode, it will change the color. If we go back to normal mode, then something like visual, it's gonna be a different color, and so on. To set this up, we go into Control-Shift-P and open user settings JSON, and there we go at the bottom of the file. First, we activate Vim status bar color control to true, and then we have different modes with the color of the bar and the color of the font. There is so much more to say about all this, but it's enough for this video. Now, please share in the comment section your settings and tips. I would love to hear about and learn some new things from you. And until next time, happy coding!